Welcome to the Global Gurus podcast, a 15-minute conversation with thinkers shaping the future of leadership in business. Now, in every episode, we ask our guests three questions. What's the biggest problem you see right now? What's the original methodology you've built to solve it? And how are you applying it to create measurable results in the real world? I'm Rhett Power, and I have got an amazing human being and a pretty good salesperson and sales leader and sales guru, Joe Pici, with me this morning here on the podcast. I think you're more of an amazing human, more than anything, Joe. But I think we're going to talk about sales this morning.
Yeah.
And so you are, obviously one of the global gurus. You're known around the world as a sales trainer, keynote speaker, executive coach, and co-founder of Pici and Pici. You're ranked one of the world's top sales trainers by Global Gurus, but you're also known for your tactical, results-driven approach to sales and communication and leadership development. And so, let's get into the questions, Joe. What, from your perspective, is the biggest problem you see right now out in organizations that are struggling to? I mean, I think this is an interesting time, right? There's so much noise, there's so many tools, there's so many things to get distracted by, particularly from the sales side. Is it really about all those flashy tools and all those things? Let's
No,
let's let's get into that.
not at all. Right now, what I see as the biggest challenge out there is, number one, people are misunderstanding what AI is all about when it comes to sales. So they're
Mm,
misunderstanding that personal touch is so important. I believe right now people that develop the soft skills with the technical knowledge, they're going to dominate. And so the biggest challenge I see right now is companies, individuals do not have a methodology, a structure, or the skills to get to their target market, to get to the decision maker, because that's what it's all about.
well, okay, let's talk about the how. I mean, you this is what you spend your life. This is your life's work here. How do we do that with all the distractions and with your team? How do you get your team to be able to focus and do that, get to the right people, to your target?
Well, it's funny because besides training sales, I also operate as a fractional sales manager. And so I think the word accountability is, just a buzzword, a lightning rod out there. But I think there has to be, whether it's personal accountability or team accountability, there's got to be accountability on the non-negotiables when it comes to sales and business development. You have to have those things in place. You got to have a great structure, a great process, great tactical skills, because charisma and talent cannot be taught, okay? And it cannot be learned. It's going to be
Right.
about the things you can teach and learn.
That's so spot on. So what is the system or what's the methodology you've built to help teams do this? Because I know you've got a system
We
and
do. It's called the Rapport Mastery Sales System. And it basically lays out from lead generation, okay, right up to how do you pick up that phone, navigate the gatekeeper in the B2B market, get to the person in the B2C market, do what I call a consultative qualified sales meeting, move it down the pipe, whether or not they want a proposal or not, then the endless follow-up. 92% of sales professionals never follow up after the first no or no answer. So follow-up, then executing the contract, getting the deposit, okay, and then executing and then staying in touch with that client, okay, to build those deep relationships.
okay. Now let me ask you this. A lot of people, I had somebody pitch me this yesterday. Oh, you've got to have this funnel and you've got to have all these emails and you got to, this is how you're gonna, be successful at generating revenue and sales. does that work, or does this require some form of human like interaction? Because I know what your answer is going to be.
Well,
I
I'm going to
think.
be talking, gurus are going to listen to this and they're going to go, this guy's nuts. But in the world of cybersecurity, okay, so many companies are being told do not open up unsolicited emails. In our 3-day sales boot camp, just the other day, we allowed 20 people, okay, 18 of them had never made a live outbound telephone call. And so on day 3, we made 450 calls. We had an 87% conversion to appointment, got through 92% of the gatekeepers, got 31 same day return phone calls, and closed about 20 deals. I believe right now the differentiating factor is going to be the skill of communications and mastering that telephone because, okay, cybersecurity is and the other thing about it is people are getting tired of these DMs on LinkedIn, okay,
Oh,
trying
it's
to sell
annoying.
through
Oh,
a
absolutely.
DM.
Absolutely. No, it's annoying, isn't it? To get 7 or 8 messages that you don't want all the time. Like, and I get about 100 of those a day, and it just, my admin person just, I mean, they get deleted because I just,
That's why they have a D on the thing here. Delete, delete, delete.
I love that. You bring up a really good point. I'd never really thought about that from sort of the email, reach outs as a cybersecurity aspect of it. That people aren't just going to open them because of the security aspect. That's really, really, really smart, and I think that's a really maybe important takeaway from this conversation. So, talk a little bit more about your methodology. Is it hard to implement this? Is it uh, talk about your success in making this a real world solution for businesses and how you go about like helping companies put this in place. Because
Okay.
I imagine there's some lifting there that they have to do.
Well, the bottom line is most companies, okay, really struggle with lead generation. So we work with them on that. How are they going to, where is their target market? Where do they play? Okay. And where do we
Hmm.
generate the leads? And nowadays you can get anybody's phone number. So
Hmm.
then we spend about 5 to 6 hours on crafting that value proposition, that methods of messaging. But a big thing here, Rhett, is what is their uniqueness? I mean, I'm a small company, but I have big clients and I compete with some of the top sales training companies in the world. And I can't compete at some of those things, but the thing I can compete on is what makes us unique. So we work with companies and individuals on what is going to make you unique. Besides, besides sales, I work with speakers, coaches, trainers, and consultants, not on how to talk, not on how to write a book, but how do you build a profitable business that will weather a bad economy? Okay. And another vertical I just got into, in fact, because of Global Gurus, I'm working with Dr. Jensen. Uh,
Oh, right.
so
Yeah.
many people they license people their methodology, but their licensees can't sell. So what happens is they don't make any money, they don't renew. So one of the things I'm working on that right now is I'm talking to people that do licensing and certifications, and I'm teaching their people how to attract and retain clients. Therefore, they'll make money, they'll renew, and the cycle is complete.
Oh, that's a really good point. Uh, what is when you help companies do this and build this kind of system? Like, how many people does it take to really? I mean, let's say you and I have similar sized businesses. I imagine, a few people on the team, right? And how do I build a sales organization when I'm busy, sort of out front? I'm creating the products. I'm creating the demand. I'm out speaking. I'm out doing all that. How do I build a good sales organization behind me as a small business? Does it require me to hire a lot of people? Are there people that like
No,
let's
you don't need a lot of people. You need people that'll work. Okay. I mean, two of the you need people that have self-discipline and ambition. if a person has self-discipline and ambition, sales is about processes and skills which can be learned. So what I tell
Okay.
people is don't be hiring people that you've got to externally motivate. Okay.
Mm.
You're looking at people that know how to say yes to high revenue producing activities, no to low revenue producing activities. And then I have a process. In fact, I did this at the Global Gurus event. I know you had to fly out of there. The 8 non-negotiables of sales and business development. Those people have to hit those non-negotiables every day. And so an accountability program is important.
Well, what are those 8 non-negotiable?
Here's that quickly. I'll give you a very quick thing. Number 1 is clarity, which is you got to know how much money they need to generate, when and why. So they have to have dates, and the why is why do we have to generate this money? Number 2 and number 3, self-discipline and ambition. Above that, they've got to be great communicators, whether it's DISC, whether it's Myers-Briggs, whether it's Animals and Colors. Every one of them needs to have training in a communications process because people buy differently and you need to know how to sell the different communication styles. Now, the next 4 are where the rubber meets the road. Every day, they got to generate leads. Every day, they have to make a number of outbound telephone calls to prospect new clients. Every day, they have to work to get sales meetings. The key to your business is how many qualified and quality sales meetings are going on for your business every week, every month, every year. And the 4th one on top is priority and time management. Not time management, but priority and time management. When you put those 8 things together, we call that sales mastery. I can take any team that will do those things every day, and we'll triple their numbers in 90 days.
Wow. That's phenomenal. I want to back up a little bit. And I think one of the things, you and I work with a lot of coaches and a lot of people who are selling a service like a coaching engagement. And, one of the things it's always interesting to me is some of the greatest coaches I know hate to sell. They hate to ask for the business. They hate to. How can somebody like that? Like, I mean, I've got a business partner and a couple of people that help, but how do we build, the right clientele? How do we get what's the formula for finding our right customer, I guess? Does that make sense? Is a question?
Yeah. Well, first of all,
And how do
Rhett,
we sell? Like, because I do
absolutely.
actually like to sell.
All right. So let's talk. I think most coaches, trainers, and speakers hate to sell because they don't like being sold to, because they're thinking transactional sales. Get to yes or no as quickly as possible. We train, and anybody can learn consultative sales. Okay.
Okay.
86% of all sales happens between the 6th and the 15th contact. It takes time. Took me 10 years to get Blue Cross. Took me 10 years to get Caldwell Banker. I just have a great follow-up system. So I think, first of all, the coach and the trainer first needs to make a decision. How much money do I want to make? And am I willing to learn the skills of consultative sales? And if not, they're going to have to hire somebody. But it's been my experience. Like, you can see that board behind me. That's 3 months of proposals. That's 250 proposals. Okay. So not only do I have to generate leads and do the selling process, then I've got to go deliver. Like yesterday, I worked with Colonial Life Insurance. It took me 11 months to get that contract. But for me, I enjoy the process of selling for this reason. I learn about the client on the way in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's just, life is simple. You either learn to sell or hire somebody, But the hardest thing to hire in business is a good outbound sales rep. You'll go through a lot of them. A lot of them will quit. You'll fire a lot of them because most people, 92% of outbound salespeople quit.
Mm.
How about that?
Well, that's depressing. But it is a fact. I do know from experience that that is one of the hardest positions to fill in an organization to get the right fit. It just takes time, and um, you've got to commit the time and the effort and be
Yeah.
dedicated to bringing the right person on the team. So, and that's not easy.
I've had a lot of consultants, speakers, and trainers come to our 3-day sales boot camp with the idea they wanted to learn how they could get clients, whether the economy was good or bad. And they always say this is nothing of what I expected. And
Yeah.
then all of them get on the phone on day 3, and it blows them away the success we had. And now they have the keys to the castle.
Yep. Well, Joe, unfortunately, I could talk to you for days, and I know that we need to have another conversation, probably offline, about how we can maybe do some things together, because I think the work that you're doing is particularly in this day and age, super critical, right? I think the systems that you're talking about here are really the key to survival in this sort of seminal moment that we're in with all the change and the speed of change. And I think
Yeah.
what you're talking about really is what I really love is this is no matter what's going on externally, this is the key, and still will always be the key to building a successful business. So, Joe, how do people
Absolutely.
find you? How do people
Well,
find you?
first of all, complimentary cup of Joe, 407-947-2590. Okay. They can go to
Okay.
LinkedIn, Joe Pici. All right. I recommend you give me a call. And my email is joe@piciandpici.com. I've got a free giveaway. If people will go, we have 2 businesses, peachyandpeachy.com, piciandpici.com. Great downloads. But also there's another free, if they'll go to sellmorevirtually.com, that's our second business. It's our online. They'll get a free 45-minute sales webinar. Okay. Now, if you're in the United States of America, take out your cell phone, put the word sales edge in the text box, one word, text it to 59925. You will receive a free webinar. But call me. I won't close you. I'm not transactional. I'll give you a complimentary cup of Joe.
And that is so true. And this is the Global Gurus podcast. 3 questions, 1 methodology, real results. That's what we explore on every episode of the Global Gurus podcast. I'm Rhett Power, and we will see you next week with another episode.